Hello and welcome to Sax Comprehensive. My name is Ken Gowdy and this is the second in the series on improvisation for the complete beginner. In the previous video we started improvising using just one note, the root of each chord. Then we looked at using two notes, the third and the seventh of the chord, the guide tones. Then we introduced the fifth note of the chord so that we could play arpeggios of the triad and the four notes of the chord. At the end of the last video, the melody sounded like this. However, just using four notes is not enough, so we need to add some more notes, and we can do this in such a way as to continue to outline the chord. If we continue adding thirds after the seventh, we get the ninth, the 11th and the 13th, which we call extension notes. Not all these notes will work well with all types of chords, and some of them will sound better if altered by raising them or lowering them by a semitone. We call these altered extension notes. Usually with the minor seventh chords, we can use the ninth, the 11th and the 13th. With the major seventh chords, we can use the ninth, the sharp 11th and the 13th. The dominant seventh chord has the most notes. Here we can use the flattened ninth, the sharp 11th, the flattened 13th and the 13th. With half diminished chords, we can use the ninth and the 11th. And with diminished chords, we can use the 11th. So now let's introduce these notes into our melody and see if we can make some improvements. As you can see, I've written the chord tones of the seventh chords in blue and the extensions in red. Ultimately, what you're aiming for is to hear the melody in your head and play it instantly. But until you're able to do that, it is okay to work at the melody on paper or in a computer program and see if they work and sound good. And if that is the case, then you can memorize them in order to be able to play them again in similar progressions. It is probably best just to start off with the ninth and learn arpeggios including the ninth. Here I've added some extensions and it sounds like this. Now we are at the stage of improvising with 5 or 6 notes, the chord tones and a few extensions. If you feel that including these extension notes is a bit complicated, then what you can do is play certain triads and seventh chords over the progressions that bring out these extensions, since most people know the notes of the triads. For example, if you incorporate into your solo an E major triad over the G7 chord, you'll be playing some of the extensions. Or alternatively, if you play an A7 arpeggio over the G7 chord, you'll be playing some of these extensions. So by learning what different triads and seventh chords you can use in their inversions over a particular chord might make improvising easier. Probably the quickest way to take your improvisation to the next level is, rather than working at your own melody, is to take certain licks from other songs and add it into your solo. For example, there are many books that contain over 1,000 licks that can be used over a 2-5-1 or a 5-1 progression. If you find some of these licks that sound good to you and memorize them in all keys, then you'll have an instant resource that you can use when improvising. So in this video, we learned how to improvise using about 6 notes, the 4 chord tones of the 7th chord and 1 or 2 notes of the extensions. We also learned that you could play certain triads or certain arpeggios of 7th chords over these 7th chords to bring out some of the extensions. So for instance, in the example, we played an E major triad over the G7 chord and we played an A7 arpeggio over the G7 chord to bring out some of these extensions. In the next video, we'll learn how to improvise using a lot more notes, 8 notes or more. If you found this video helpful, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up because that will help my channel. And if you're not yet a subscriber, then consider subscribing to this channel. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.